Last year, I packed up my life, ended my apartment lease, and lived out of a suitcase for the entire year, moving from city to city every couple of months, from Tokyo to London to Montreal. Throughout that year of instability and, frankly, chaos, I came to rely on a set of core apps to bring some order and organization to my life, and just to make life in another country a bit easier. And I wanted to share them with you today. All right, number one. The first is actually not an app itself, but more the widgets of the app, because I think everyone's very familiar with the app itself. What I'm talking about is Google Translate's lock screen widgets. So speed and convenience are often a big thing when it comes to translation, especially real-time translation. You know, if you're at a restaurant or a cafe, there's a line of people behind you and you're trying to decipher a menu in another language, or if there's a train announcement, or you're talking to someone and you're wanting to translate something, you don't want to be held up and fumbling with your phone and adding that extra barrier to translating something. And to solve this, the Google Translate app actually has a bunch of one-tap widgets you can put on your lock screen to jump to specific parts of their app. So you can go straight to opening the camera to translate something in front of you written down with a single tap, or open the conversation translation view immediately while you're talking with someone. I mostly used this while I was in Tokyo for the camera translation function, and the speed meant I was much more inclined to use it, knowing that I wouldn't need to get my phone out, unlock my phone, find the app, wait for the app to open, find the right tab in the app to get to the camera functionality. Like, all of that just takes too long. And knowing that I can just immediately open it and translate something right away meant that I was a lot more, I guess, willing to explore and engage with the world and the culture around me, knowing I could translate things whenever I needed without any sort of barriers in the way. And this doesn't have to just be the camera app. This works, or the camera functionality. This works for the conversation view, or the real-time transcription if there's announcements on a train, for example, or something like that. The speed is the big thing here, and I really found this incredibly convenient. Okay, number two is called Flighty. This is hands down one of my favorite apps, regardless of the context of travel or not. It's just such a beautifully well-designed app and a joy to use. So this is my flight day Bible, my kind of companion app for the entirety of a travel day. It collects and displays all of your flight information, and then throughout the day, well, actually, for the day, it has a countdown leading up to the day, which is nice to get you excited about your trip. But then throughout the day, it gives you alerts and notifications for any delays, any changes, any updates that you might need to know, including like gate changes and things like that. And these actually come through often a lot earlier than the official notifications, which is amazing. But they go a lot further than that as well than just the notifications. You come down to things like the exact plane that you'll be flying on, or the likelihood that your flight will be delayed based on historical data from this route on this airline and this particular plane. It's super in-depth, and they display it in a way that's really, pleasing to use. One of my favorite features is the live activities and the widgets. Being able to see visually the progression of your flight on those really long overnight international flights is so helpful. Like down to a bit of a timeline of your day, like when you were taxiing, when the takeoff is, how far through the flight you are, when you're landing, and then when you actually make it to your gate. It makes the actual airline's apps feel outdated, or the little UI on the seat in front of you just archaic. It's really good information that keeps you up to date every step of your flight. And all these features also apply to friends' flights. There's a separate section in the app just for friends or family or flights that aren't your own. So if you're picking someone up from the airport, you can see if they're delayed, if they're late when they landed, and things like that. I find that very useful, picking up family members from the airport. And one of the most fun things in this app is the history feature. I think they call it Passport. It's like a record of all the flights you've taken, all the stats you've accrued, how many airports you've been in, how long you've been on flights cumulatively, how many countries you've been to. And you can then display this on a globe and see it superimposed and kind of relive these memories. I love airports and I love planes. So this really, I enjoyed it a lot. It makes me very happy. Okay, next we have Airalo. So Airalo solves that problem of when you get to a new country and you have that kind of stress of how am I going to get data? How am I going to get internet on my phone? How do I connect to the phone network? You're trying to figure out SIM cards while you're in the airport, or trying to understand the intricacies of a phone network system in another country, another language. So Airalo fixes all of this, thank goodness, and it's such a relief that it does. It works via eSIMs. So this is a virtual SIM card you download onto your phone via their app that works in conjunction with the physical SIM you might already have in your phone. And this means you end up having two data methods on your phone at the same time, and you can then specify which one applies and which one you'll be using while you're in an overseas country or traveling internationally. It's such an easy process as well. You can browse all the available plans and SIMs for each particular country within the app itself. see the costs, see how much data you get per cost, and then just install it directly from the app, pay via Apple Pay, and be up and running very quickly. Yeah, I was very impressed. This worked flawlessly for me across Japan, Canada, and the United Kingdom. And having working data on your phone before you even leave the plane that you landed on was such a big weight off my mind. That was a big stressor before. So it's nice to have that working and be able to rely on that. My favorite feature, something I really appreciate, is the home screen widgets and the way they display your progression through how much data you have. It's a nice little graph. You can see if you're getting close to running out, and you can very easily know if you need to top up and update that from there. And that also extends to managing your account on their website. You can easily see your receipts and access all your information. They've done a great job at keeping that all very organized, and it's just a weight off your mind when you're traveling. It's really good. Our next one is less functional and more fun. It's called Arc. It's a way to automatically keep track of the places you go, how long you spend there, when you arrive and leave, how you got there, and displaying it all on an interactive timeline and a map. This is really great for seeing where you explored and the kind of paths you take through different cities and reliving these memories through kind of your own personalized, labeled, annotated map that fills itself out as you just go about living your life and traveling and exploring. And even outside of travel, it's just interesting. I find it interesting to see the kind of stats and data around how you move around a city and how long you spend driving or walking and the type of places you visit and seeing it all laid out in front of you. So here's how it works. As you go about your day, Arc builds a timeline recording how long you spend at each location, when you arrive and leave, and even automatically detecting how you travel, whether that's walking, cycling, driving, on a train. You can then view the data on a day, week, month, or yearly scale and have a bit of a visual database memory of your travels. You can go in and edit any of the information and data as often as you want, make it really detailed and granular, make sure it's accurate. And I really love that they actually put the photos that you've taken throughout the day alongside the information in your timeline or the workouts you record through Apple Health. So it becomes this kind of holistic, interactive, multimedia timeline and map of where you go and how you get around the world. You also get smarter the more you use it and the more it gets to kind of learn the way you get around. And it hasn't really had a noticeable impact on my battery life through my own experience. So it's been something that has been really fun just to keep running in the background and revisit different kind of landmarks and memories throughout each city I visited. All right, so those are some of my standout apps from my last year of international travel. I would love to hear any that you use, any suggestions you have, anything that stood out for you in your travels. I really love trying new apps, so please leave any in the comments that you've liked. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.